we meet Jorgen, who has just caught a seal. I don't yet know it, but Jorgen will be important to our adventure and become our friend. Kimek for dog, Puesi for seal. Emmanuelle is initiated into this technique that uses a white screen for concealment so that hunters can get close to the seals. But for us, it's the opposite. Time to come out in the open. Jorgen points out the road to the school. The Ikerasak community is waiting for us.
Hello. We come from France, and we arrived in Greenland. It's a little bit farther in the...
It's great because it's the first exchange with the population of Ikerasak, and we are able to tell them a bit about who we are, what we're doing, where we come from, and then, well, we obviously have a lot to learn from them.
Who would like to try diving?
We all want to.
They have accepted us. It's now possible for us to access the ice floe along with their fishing and hunting territory. There's no more time to waste. The very next morning, the entire crew is ready for a first reconnaissance dive. We have to sharpen up our reflexes, both above and below water. Our lives depend on it. So we're going to see a lot of dives, a lot of divers. The idea is just that we all go over everything concerning preparations for the under-ice dive, which can be extremely dangerous. If you get lost, for example, if the hole is here and you're turned away from it or in the dark underwater, you can be 3 meters from the hole without seeing it. You can get disoriented very quickly because there are no visual references under the ice, and that's why people die diving under ice. This yellow rope is our lifeline, which makes sure we find the way out. It links the divers to the assistants on the surface, on the ice floe. As soon as visibility drops, and whenever we're worried that poor visibility may occur, it's best to tie up immediately. The polar night only leaves us with a few brief moments of light. So, as a symbol of this overwintering, we launch our dive program at night. It's minus 25 degrees. I haven't even put a fin in the water and I'm already frozen. The ice has made its way into everything, into the regulators, the purges, even the masks. The thermos bottles with hot water have become our best tools for de-icing the equipment. In fact, everything takes more time in the cold. Not only getting ready, storing gear and everything around it. It's not just the dive. Everything takes time in the cold. And generally speaking, when you plan to do something, it takes nearly 10 times longer than it would in temperate climates. Given the level of salinity, the water temperature can be lower than 0 degrees, even minus 1.8. And as opposed to open water dives, I won't have any other emergency exit than this hole. This lifeline is the only link that will keep me alive. It is the passion for discovery that gives us the energy we need. I have rarely made such extreme dives. Let's go. It's time to step into the unknown. There's something unreal about this first nocturnal contact with the underwater Arctic world. The underwater world seems asleep during the polar night. The brand new ice floe has blocked icebergs as they drift slowly. For us, they are an ideal playground for conducting our mission and recording all the forms of life that they contain. During our first dive, this shrimp emerges from its ice cave to meet us. The water is at its clearest during these months of winter. Meanwhile, I float as weightless as an astronaut, discovering this new blue and white planet. It is intense, but after a 1-hour dive in this glacial water, I can no longer feel my fingers, the first sign of hypothermia. It's time to resurface. The temperature of our hands and feet is sometimes close to 0 degrees. That was great.
Up you come. Okay, we've got you. Beautiful.
I need the warmer.
It's over there. I'm freezing. I want to get back to the boat.
Want some help with that?
My hands hurt. They're starting to tingle. It's a bit painful. Can't even feel it in the glove. But it's still alive.
I'm going to dash to the boat to warm up. I'm done in. Okay, see you later. Here's Sylvain. The boat's moving. The ice is breaking up.
There's no rest on the Y. There's a massive storm which reminds us of the danger of this extreme territory. The strong winds have broken up the ice, which is still fragile, dangerously destabilizing our boat, our only refuge here in the middle of nowhere. A large hole has appeared to starboard, and it has crushed the ice floe to port. We picked up the equipment lying around, so if it gets worse, we'll have less work. It's a bit cold this morning. Let's take a look. Yeah, we made it.
Since I got here, basically in December, there's been ice. But in the last few days, it turned into an ice palace. -3, something like that. The metal conducts cold more than other materials, so the ice gathers there. And all these small spots, those must be screws. So I pulled out the big red sleeping bag that's usually for outside, made for surviving the North Pole, and it'll help me survive inside. The ice usually melts a bit when I sleep. My breath melts a little bit above me, and in the morning, there's less ice than when I went to bed. But today, it's so cold this morning that there's more ice than yesterday.
The water tap is frozen, and if we don't get it working quickly, the drains will freeze for sure. So we have to hurry.
It's complicated enough already to use the toilets. You have to get a bucket to pee in, and for water to cook. I didn't even know it was possible before seeing that it was frozen. And then here inside, the glasses are trapped in the ice. It's a shame because we can't use them anymore. It's going to be slightly more complicated.
But there are waffles.
But there are waffles.
Before starting our plans for dives, writing, reading, it's crazy the time we spend just so that we can function every day. We wanted to overwinter. We're overwintering. This is what it's like. We created a daily observation schedule for ourselves which is as comprehensive as possible, even if Robin is not always happy to see me disappear under the ice.
We're going to go sledding.
Well, we have to ask Papa.
Do you want to go sledding on the iceberg? We'll do it once, okay?
You could start from right here. No, Ghislain, don't do that.
Don't worry, it's not dangerous. We did it! Playtime is over. We have to dive again and again, despite the cold that we will never get used to. Getting ready takes 2 hours, an eternity. The equipment also takes a beating. The regulator doesn't work. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, you got some ice there.
There's no air.
Is it working?
Today it's a dive under an iceberg, some 15 meters down a big iceberg, which could easily be 7 meters high and go down at least 40 to 60.
Look at Papa. He's going underwater. Come look.
Can I have hot water in my mask?
Okay.
Here, you'll have to put it back on.
Okay.
Put it on fast before it freezes.
Let's get this on tight.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks. Everything is so complicated so that when we dive, we photograph and film everything. I feel personally responsible for documenting this environment that is so unknown, to provide Heidi with the observation she needs for her study of the ice flow. I am her eyes, searching for any trace of polar life. Eyes that are awestruck every single time by the underwater landscape, a place no one has been to before. I never get tired of these enormous icebergs. This one must weigh about 200,000 tons. Time has carved multiple galleries in this giant. They can crack and break off at any time. But winter is the best time to get a closer look. Our senses alert, we decide to explore further, deep inside the monster. It's a kind of underwater speleology, with an impenetrable ice ceiling over our heads. It would be easy to get lost in this labyrinth. I hold the rope tighter than ever. This lifeline is our only guide to finding the way back and to the hole that leads to open air.